Hey everyone, welcome and thank you for being here. My name is Misha and I'm the Digital Risk Advisor at North Road. If you've been following the news lately, you've probably heard about something that happened right here in Alberta, and it's pretty alarming. A group called the Centurion Project published an official Alberta voter list, the kind of list that is only supposed to be in the hands of registered political parties, and made it searchable online. No login required, anybody with a link could look up names and home addresses. We're talking about close to 3 million Albertans, politicians, judges, crown prosecutors, journalists, and regular people like you and me. The site has since been taken down by a court order, and there are now 3 separate investigations underway. But the data that was accessed, it's out there. Before I get into what this means for you and what we should all be doing about it, I want to play a short clip from LeMay, a retired deputy chief of police who spent decades working directly on fraud and identity crime. This is from the Real Talk with Ryan Jesperson podcast. And a big thank you to Ryan and the team at Real Talk for letting us use this footage. He says a few things in here I think every Albertan needs to hear right now. It's about 6 minutes long. Let's take a listen to it together.
The separatist group has done is provided a target list for fraud, for intimidation, for all sorts of nefarious activities that has the name of every voting Albertan on it, along with their address. And now those are the 2 building blocks. Those are the 2 essential building blocks for identity theft. And with identity theft, of course, you can commit all sorts of frauds. And the real Ryan Jesperson, let's say, the bona fide one, he'll never know that his financial information is being manipulated till the police show up with a warrant at his door saying he's under arrest for fraud. That's, these things, criminals and fraudsters, they start building dossiers on individuals that they think they can target. And once you've got the name and the address, all sorts of things can happen. So over the last 20, 30 years, all of us have been leaving bits and pieces and cookie crumbs and trails on the internet, social media. Something as simply as wishing somebody happy birthday, happy 40th birthday. I hear it's your birthday today. Well, it doesn't take a mathematician to work it backwards and figure out what that person's date of birth is. So now they have your address, your name, and your date of birth. Now, if you post stuff online on social marketplaces, community markets, that stuff, there's a good chance they're going to get your phone number and your email as well, depending on how secure those sites are. And most of them aren't. They're community run. So now they've got those pieces of information. Now they've got your phone number. So they call your phone, and your phone goes to voice message. And you've got a personal message on there saying, "Hi, this is Ryan. I'm not here. Leave me a message." Well, now they scrape that off using various tools that are available openly. So now they've got your voice. Throw in AI into the mix. Now they can manipulate your voice. So now they can manipulate your voice to the point where they can fool the voice identification systems of the major banks. Now, that guy picking bottles in your back alley, he might be the homeless guy picking bottles so he can buy himself lunch, but he may also be looking for financial information, your tax returns, your notice of assessment, your financial statements from your banks and your credit institutions, your credit card information. So now there's another piece they've picked up. They've got your personal banking information with your account numbers. With that information, you don't stand a chance. You don't stand a chance. The banks will come back after you've lost all your money and offer you some credit monitoring services. The horse is already out the barn, and it's too late to close the barn door. It's done.
For the person that would say, "You sound a little paranoid, Neil. You sound like you got to get your tinfoil hat fitted." How common is this?
Well, it's not hard to find people that have been victims of identity theft. I've had money stolen from my bank accounts. I've had my credit cards compromised. I've paid for people taking vacations in the Canary Islands. Fortunately, I was reimbursed by the credit card company. So you never know who's working inside these companies that's skimming information, credit card information, that's holding on to information, and that can be sold. And yeah, I'm a little paranoid. There's no doubt about that. But just because I'm paranoid doesn't mean they're after your data.
Okay, a lot in there. I hope that landed it the way it did for me when I first heard it. I want to pull on a few of those threads and connect them directly to what's happening here in Alberta, what this breach actually means. Here's the thing about this kind of data exposure. Your address alone is not enough for someone to steal your identity, but it's definitely a good starting point. And that's exactly what Neil was describing with the building blocks idea. Criminals don't need everything at once. They collect, they cross-reference, they're patient. Your name and address from this breach gets combined with your birth date from Facebook, your phone number from a public directory, maybe a piece of mail they pulled from your recycling bin, and suddenly they have enough to do some real damage. And what does it actually take for someone to steal your identity? Less than most people think. There are really three things a criminal needs to pull it off. First, they need to know who you are. Full name, your date of birth, your address. Second, they need something that proves you are who you say you are. A SIN number, a passport, or a driver license number. And a third, they need a way to use that information, an account to open, a lender to receive, a form to fill out in your name. The scary part is that most of us already have leaked at least the first layer without realizing it. Your name and address just got handed to anyone who had that link. Your birth date is probably on Facebook. Your phone number is in dozens of directories. Criminals are very good at assembling this puzzle. They just need a few pieces to start. And that's exactly why a breach like this matters, even if nothing happens to you right away. The information does not expire. It gets stored and traded and used whenever the moment is right. And for some of you, the risk isn't just financial. If you ever had a situation where keeping your address private mattered to you for any reason whatsoever, this breach is more serious than it might look like on a surface. The RCMP has publicly said that if you believe that you're at personal risk because your address is being exposed, you should contact them. What identity monitoring can and cannot do. Neil has made a very good point when he said that when there is a data breach, the horse has left the barn. And he is right. Once your information has been leaked, you cannot reverse the damage, meaning no product, no service, no monitoring tool can reach back in time and undo that. But here's what identity monitoring can do and why I think it's very valuable, especially right now. It watches your credit file. If someone opens an account in your name, you find out fast, not 8 months later when collection calls start. It scans the dark web for your personal information being traded or listed for sale, and it will alert you when your information shows up in a new breach. And speed matters enormously in identity theft. The faster you catch it, the less damage gets done, and the easier it is to clean it up. A fraudulent account from last week is a very different problem from an account that's been running for over a year. And this is exactly why Equifax identity protection is part of what we do in the Digital Risk Advisory Program in North Road. Not because it makes you untouchable, nothing will, but because it gives you eyes on what's happening so you're not the last one to know. 5 things to do right now. Let's take some actionable steps we can all do to improve our security. First, your voicemail. Neil mentioned voice cloning, and I want to be very specific about this. Criminals can lift your voice from a voicemail greeting. Even 15 or 20 seconds can be enough to train an AI model. This sounds exactly like you. The voice then gets used to call your kids, your spouse, your bank. The script is usually urgency, money, secrecy. I would recommend changing your greeting to something a little bit more shorter and more generic. You've reached this number, please leave a message. That's it. Your name does not need to be on there. Second one is start shredding. Physical mail is still a real vulnerability. Pre-approved credit offers, insurance documents, utility bills, tax returns, anything with your name and address on it, if it has personal information, it gets shredded before it gets in the bin. Third, check your credit report. In Canada, you can pull a free credit report from both Equifax and TransUnion. Look for accounts you do not recognize and look for hard inquiries. Those are the searches lenders run when someone is applying for a credit in your name. If you see something you do not recognize, please flag it immediately. Fourth, have a conversation with your family about voice scams. The best defense against AI voice cloning is a simple protocol. Agree with your family on a code word and agree that anyone asking for money over the phone gets called back on a known number before anything happens. It sounds very simple, but it works. Fifth, be a bit more intentional about what you share online. Your birth date, your city, your employer, photos that show your home. Any of these can be a building block when combined with what's now out there from this breach. You don't have to lock everything down. but it's worth doing a quick audit to see what is publicly visible on your profiles. If you've already been enrolled in our DRA program, your Equifax monitoring is running. You do not need to do anything special in response to this breach. Just make sure your profile in the Equifax portal is current and that your contact information is up to date so alerts can actually reach you. If you're not sure how to check that, please reach out to me and I'll walk you through it. If you are not yet enrolled and this has you thinking about it, let's talk. This breach is a vivid reminder that our personal information is in circulation in ways that we cannot always control. What we can control is how quickly we find out about it and how fast we respond. That's what I've got for you today. I know there's a lot of information out there and it can feel pretty overwhelming. So I hope this helped it make it a little bit more concrete. As always, if you have any questions, reach out. That's what I'm here for. Stay safe out there. Talk soon.